Hello everyone, it's 10 Types, and today I have some pretty cool new cards to take a look at, as well as a little bit of other news. So, speaking of news, we are seeing the reveal, or I guess like the announcement of a new set following Twilight Masquerade. This will be a mini set, Scarlet and Violet something. It's going to be, I believe, dragon focused. Maybe it's not. It could be this like dragon set, or it could be the stellar set. So yeah, it's something that'll be fun, I guess. I don't know. I'm not looking forward to the stellar type because then there's gonna be 11 types, but I hope it's not an actual type. Um, anyway, so I think it'll be cool, I guess. I think it'll be okay from whatever. I don't think it's gonna be super good. I think it's gonna have like a lot of promos. Or the cards that like would normally be promos that just aren't very good, but it'll have probably a few cool cards, so that's gonna be fun. But I mean, that's a bit of a ways away because we have Twilight Masquerade, which is coming in. Um, it'll be releasing in like mid to late May. So it says released on stores on May 24th. So I think that's when it's releasing on live, and you know, can actually get the cards. Although pre-releases, of course, are before then, and so that's cool. I think that'll be fun. Twilight Masquerade looks really, really good, honestly. I think Palafin's in it. Or I don't know. Blood Moon Ursa Luna looks really, really good. But anyways, that's not what we're here to talk about. Mainly today we are going to be talking about some new card reveals. And is in Pokemon fashion. At first I was gonna say like they're not. So I usually like wait for they reveal like a card or two every day. That's somewhat common, so I want to wait till the Pokemon reveals like enough cards to make an actual video on. So initially I was like, oh, I'm not going to be talking about control today, but of course they went and revealed some new control cards or pseudo control cards. Not as crazy as like that um whistle card, which I forget the name of. That was like super good and super good for like almost exclusively Snorlax and I guess a few other decks, but mostly Snorlax. But there are some, I think, more interesting cards revealed today, and some weird ones as well. Starting with Sunflora here, Sunshine Return for one grass on a stage 1. This attack does 60 damage for each fire energy attached to all of your opponent's Pokemon. So this is like a count. This is a counter Charizard, right? It's very obviously a counter to Charizard. It is a grass Pokemon that counters fire Pokemon, or fire, yeah, fire decks, I should say. And Charizard is essentially like a fire deck. I mean, Charizard itself is not fire. It's weak to grass. It's darkness, but it also uses fire energy, right? The one thing is, the really funny thing about this card is, well, one is a stage 1 grass, so it's like a little awkward. You can't just tech it into any deck because I mean you need to be running grass energy, and it is a stage 1. And I think there's a Sunflora in format, but it's not particularly good. But then the big thing here is that you're going to be doing so you need to be hitting 3 engine play, which will be 180, double that to 360. You're taking the one shot because they essentially never run Hero Escape, and we'll talk about that later actually. But Sunshine Return, though, if they only have 2 energy in play, which is what they need to attack, is only going to be hitting 240, right, with weakness. 120 double to 240. Also the second attack on Sunflower isn't very good. The first attack, or the only attack on Sunkern is not very good, but that's fine. I guess 40 HP is not amazing for is bad for Sunkern, but it is bad to have on a basic, but you know, Sunkern, low HP, whatever. Sunflower here though, if they only have 2 energy in play, you're not one-shotting them, and they can control that. They don't need more than 2 energy in play usually. A lot of the times they do put 3 energy in play because it's easier and simpler. They don't have to, right? They can just put 2 energy in play. I don't think this card's very good. I don't think it's terrible. I think it certainly has potential to see play. I think you'll see a little bit of play. I mean, if we have like some sort of stage 1 box, this is a perfect fit because it obviously hits grass weakness for 1 energy. You could like do a luminous energy. There is that new special energy that is like legacy energy or something. It's the one that's really good in control decks and a few and other decks as well, but it's really good in control. But yeah, Sunflora is it's interesting. I think it's solid. I think so. My speculation here is that Pokemon's going to print a lot of Charizard counters. I think yesterday, it could have been the day before, I made a video highlighting how good Charizard was, and it's really good. And reminds me a lot of Mew VMAX actually. I mean, just that's like very good. And so I think. And Pokemon printed like a lot of counters. Steadily, more and more, they printed more counters to the card. I think we're going to see the same thing with Charizard. So I don't know exactly what counters we're going to see to Charizard. We're going to see some soft counters like Iron Thorns E. No, yeah, Iron Thorns EX, and I guess Iron Leaves EX is also like a soft counter. It's a more obvious counter, but not as techable. And then Sunflora is a bit more of an obvious counter, and then I think we're going to see some like basic that just one such Charizard for colorless energy, honestly, some point in the future. So yeah. But Sunflora is like fine. I think you can play it if you want to. It just is a little awkward in most decks, unfortunately, as it is a 1/1 line, and it also is like a separate energy. So yeah. Next up we got Brute and Iron Bundle. These are kind of fun. Iron Bundle is not that good, but is 90 HP for water colorless. Why isn't this image as big? I don't know. But Interjet, you do 60 and switch this as one of your bench Pokemon. If you do switch out your points active to the bench, so they choose. Um, this is really weird. This switching out your points active to the bench is kind of random. I mean, it's not bad, but it's not like that good either. It's just whatever. And then you switching, like it's hit and run. Hit and run's not that good right now. Um, I did mention Iron Thorns EX, which is like path if it's in the active to your opponent. So that could be an option, right? But I don't know. That seems kind of sketchy. I guess that might be fine. I guess this Pokemon's better than I thought now that I think about it, because you can boost this a lot as well with Future Boost Energy Capsule, like the damage output with Future Boost Energy Capsule. Um, oh, I just thought of combo, and then you can also do it with what else do you have? Oh yeah, the Iron Crown EX. So you can be hitting potentially 100 more damage. So that's 160. You probably aren't doing that, but you could. And then you send up Iron Leaves, or you can send up EX, or you could send up Iron Valiant EX and actually do damage when you switch into the active, which is kind of fun. I mean, it's not that good. It's just an extra 20 somewhere, but it could be useful in certain scenarios. So I like that. So yeah, this card's actually pretty decent. I think this card is going to be fun. I don't know if it'll be good. It probably won't be that good, but it has some potential. If you're running like a future box style deck, you're probably not running water energy because I don't know what else you'd pair it with. There's the other Iron Bundle, which is good, but not really a particularly good attacker. Not trash, but it isn't played for that usually. So yeah, Iron Bundle this is a fun card. I really don't know what to think about this right now. I think it has potential, and if Iron Thorns ends up being good, but like not really as an attacker, I think Iron Bundle is a perfect option as it hits decent damage. 60 is not a lot, but if you're buffing this, you can certainly get it to 100, 120. You're certainly one-shotting most single prizers, and you can get it to three-shot everything and two-shot multi-prizers, which is nice. There's some multi-prizes like basic Vs and EXs. Next up, we got Brute Bonnet. And these will be coming in Twilight Masquerade as well. Our next set, I think they all are. Yeah, looks like. It's not confirmed, but that's probably what's going to happen. Next, we got Brute Bonnet. Poison Spray for 1 darkness. Poison, yeah, whatever. 120 HP Ancient as well. So then Rattling Strike for 50 for Dark, Dark, Dark. Then you do 50 more for each damage count on your opponent's active. So for the Darkness Energy, that's kind of like awkward, but we've obviously seen this with Roaring Moon EX and both of those attacks. It is Darkness, Darkness, colorless, but pretty much the same thing. Or it depends. It's similar. So this is pretty good, right? If they got damage on them, it's just like a one shot. Um, I'm honestly looking at this in like a Ditto box. I don't like it's not really viable. You can't really get the energy on, but this is really big, right? It's like in terms of damage, not impact in the game. I mean, it's really powerful. The idea is you probably pair this with like spread and then just one shot stuff because that's like really powerful. If they have, let's see how many damage. If they have, I think you're aiming to put 5 damage counters on them, and so then you're hitting 300, yeah, maybe 4 damage counters. You're hitting 250, so like 4 to 5, and you can do that. I think the idea is you pair this with the other Brute Bonnet and like poison them, which is pretty decent. And so you poison them like all 5, which you can use with the Stadium plus Radiant Hisuian Sneasler. So you can do that, and then you're just kind of one-shotting stuff. It is a little awkward. Well, okay, you can do it. Like you poison them, and then like next turn you one-shot them, which is kind of weird. So that actually seems kind of bad. Um, I don't know. I feel like it's a really great like theoretical Pokemon. I don't see an obvious use case outside of like spread. So if you hit him with spread a couple of times, and then you're gonna start one-shotting stuff. I mentioned Iron Valiant EX with Iron Bundle. You could do Iron Valiant EX with Brute Bonnet. You could do Meowscarada. I don't know. These things aren't amazing options, but they are options. Next up, we got ourselves Revavroom, and Farfetch'd, though. And I think these are going to be a little more interesting, I guess. They're not just basics. Farfetch'd is super crazy, in my opinion, but it's also really weird. But Revavroom, it has Rally Back. Well, it has Running Charge, which is one of those flip coin until you get Tails attacks. I mean, it's not good, but it could be funny once or twice. So Rally Back, for 1 colorless, you do 30, and if when your Pokemon was knocked out last turn from damage, it does 120. It does 90 more. So and it has 140 HP, and so that's pretty decent. The idea is like one-shot Chien-Pao. I think if you're running Revavroom, the Revavroom engine, and you're not a metal deck, which most decks aren't metal decks, and most decks realistically aren't running the Revavroom engine either. It's not the best, but then you get to just like have a counter Chien-Pao, which is really nice. I think you'd pretty much always play one of this in the Revavroom deck. Revavroom is not very good though, because you need an energy in your hand, and you can't really consistently do that from bad hands, right? The barrel, the idea is like you get Iono to Roxanne down to a small hand, then you just the barrel out of it. You can't really do that with the Revavroom because you have a small hand, so you probably don't. You might have energy, but you might not as well. It's very possible that you don't. So, and that kind of defeats the purpose of having a bailout to Iono if it's only sometimes a bailout. It's not really a bailout, is it? So yeah, I don't. I think this card's like good in Revavroom decks, though. And there are some decks that want it. I mean, Revavroom is nice because it discards energy and can draw you more cards. It's more explosive as a draw engine, although it's not super explosive. I mean, like I don't know, it's okay. I think it's a little underrated, but it's almost always worse than the barrel engine. But this isn't about that directly. It's about this card, and this card's fine. You know, it'll see play in that deck, and it can be used to like counter Lost Zone and stuff as just a decent attacker. But also, it's not insane. Also, if they don't knock you out, then you don't really have much you can do. Next we have Farfetch'd, which is a really interesting card with its ability Sonic Duty. Although Freshman talked about the attack your Mock Cut 30 discard special energy from your opponent's active. I think this is pretty decent against Lugia. It's not super good. I've been playing some Control recently, and I've been struggling to beat Lugia. And I've been like trying some crazy stuff. I've been playing the other Rotom V. I mean, I've just been doing some wacky stuff. I kind of stopped playing Control. I need to branch out some. But yeah. So like this is decent against Lugia, right? It's good for countering stuff. And for countering Lugia, countering Arceus, it can be nice. It's not like game winning, but it can be nice once or twice. And your ability Sonic Duty, when you play this Pokemon from your hand to your bench, you know, all that good stuff, you would search your deck for a Pokemon tool and attach it to this Pokemon, then shuffle your deck. Um, that's pretty good. It's kind of weird though, because like what tools you're getting, you get TMs though. That's the big thing. We have a lot of Pokemon tool search though, especially Arven. Arven's really highly played in decks that play tools. It's the reason a lot of tools are seeing play. The best tool is Force Seal Stone. Obviously, you never get that. Outside of that, like there are a variety of tools, but I'm not really sure. I'm not really sure what the best. I think the best thing is the TMs, notably the one color Senju ones, which would be Team Evolution, Team Devolution, and Team Turbo Energize. And all of those are okay. I think Team Turbo Energize is a little underrated, um, but they're all good, right? And Team Evolution and Devolution see a lot of play. Specifically, I think this is really nice with Team Evolution. You can run one copy, maybe two, and then just play down Farfetch'd. And this is like a tech option, a very somewhat niche tech option that'll work. It's just like only like a two-card attack, and you could just chuck this down in the plate and then get some immediate value off of it. That being said, your deck's probably playing Arven, it's potentially playing Town Store, so I don't know. I think it's useful in more techy scenarios as opposed to like a tool-based deck. Um, and I don't remember if there's like tool drop cards or anything like that in standard that are like particularly relevant. Throughout could be useful, but I don't really remember. Um, so it could be, as I said, usable. Oh wait, no, it's only when you play this. It's not that good in those. Um, yeah, Farfetch'd is like kind of a funny card. I think it will see some play, and I'm not really sure what it'll see play with. It's certainly the card I'm just most unsure about. But we have one last card that is not so good for Farfetch'd. It's Jamming Tower. This is I think this is the same as Lysander Labs. I kind of forget. And I might be talking about the wrong card completely, but um, actually, let me. Uh, oh, so no, it's slightly different. But anyway, so it's essentially the same. Jamming Tower, it says Pokemon tools attached to a Pokemon in play. Both yours and your opponent's have no effect. This is good. It's not like I don't know. I don't really know what to think about this, but it's like good. I don't think there's any like weird niche cases where like, oh, this tool gets around it. But yeah, no, I think this is really interesting because, as I said, tools are really good. And people are playing Town Store, which is a stadium, to bump this. I think this is decent. I don't know exactly what you'd want to counter though. There are a lot of tools that are very good, but there aren't too many that are completely like matchup defining. I'll say there are some like Force Healstone stopping. That's really great. Although that's really a temporary thing. They can probably just do it later. And then I guess the idea is you want to stop like the active tools, the ones that like do damage, like I don't know, I guess you could use this to stop the passive ones as well. It can be used in a number of scenarios, but the idea is you like play this and hope that this stops your opponent's choice spell and hope it sticks, I guess. Which is like fair. I think it's a little awkward, but because your opponent can bump it, but it's also good. Forcing your opponent to have to do something extra is always good for you. So I think Jamming Tower is interesting. I don't know. I mean, it's weird. As I said, tools are good, but there aren't too many that are completely, matchup defining. Where there are some that are deck defining, but I'm not sure. I think this is counterable, but I think it is good as well. I think we'll see some play. I'm not really sure how much, and it depends how much Pokemon continues to invest in tools. But we've seen a number. We've seen some ace specs as well, which are good, but not the best. The best tool is definitely Prime Catcher, I'm going to say. I guess the second best is probably Maximum Belt and Hero's Cape. They're both really good, but you can lost vacuum them. So yeah, I do think Jamming Tower is decent though. It's a fun stadium. I think it's pretty balanced and pretty fair and good for control. It's actually probably not that good for control, but could be good in certain scenarios, certain builds of control. It's not great in control though, because control itself runs a lot of tools. But yeah, anyway, that's all for today's video. I hope you enjoyed. I'm sorry, I just woke up, so my mind's a little scattered, but I hope you enjoyed. Tell me what you think of these cards as well. If you think Pokemon's like the next card reveals are like all going to be control or something, because they've been revealing a lot of control cards. These haven't been too much control, but kinda. I mean, Farfetch'd can definitely be a control card, and Jamming Tower can be a control card. Um, but yeah, I mean, it's weird. I feel like they definitely want control cards, but today they didn't reveal too many. But I hope you enjoyed, and as always, I'm excited to see you in the next video. Also, subscribe, like, all that good stuff.